Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the triple double hat trick, I know the code too.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. It is your boy Scott. Of course, you know where to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Barberchair Scott. You know where to follow the Barbers Chair Network, man, and that is at Barbers Chair Net on Twitter, on Instagram, on all those good things we got, man. You got it all over on the YouTube page, everything, man. Follow that right now. We are live streaming on HNB Media TV as well, man. Later on in the show, I will be joined by the homie JR Bang. I will be joined by Dante. I will be joined by my guy Mike of Pillars Fashion Club. He'll be joining us to talk baseball and, of course, the Chicago Bears later on in the show. If you are watching this right now, man, you need to subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. The new Patreon format begins today. What that means, if you missed out on Friday when I announced it, that starting today, I'm Not Gonna Hold You will be 3 times a week. That is the good news. If you are a Patreon subscriber, there's a new $5 tier right now, that I'm Not Gonna Hold You $5 tier, where you can get all of the great stuff on the new I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, which includes the full 2-hour episode. It also includes segments chopped up from the episode. If you don't watch the full thing, that'll be there. I've got a new interview series called I'm Not Gonna Hold You One-on-One, which will be dropping this Thursday. First episode I got is with Jonathan Hood of ESPN Chicago. Check that one out. You will be getting my on-field recap videos with the Bears, my own court recap videos with the Clippers. There's one up right now from last night's massacre against the Los Angeles Chargers. You might want to check that out. And, of course, the audio podcast version of each and every episode will be up. And a special Wednesday episode, which will only be on the Patreon. It's a more of an in-depth version of the show. It'll be me majority of the time, but sometimes I will have a co-star on there to join me as well, man. So check that out each and every Wednesday, starting this Wednesday, man. The first hour is live streamed every Monday and Friday on the Barbers Chat Network YouTube and the HNB Media TV YouTube, whichever one you're watching us on right now. We appreciate that, man. So definitely follow, subscribe right now, patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. It is Monday, October 30th, 2023. We are live here from Los Angeles, California. Man, where do I start? I'm gonna start off with my sound off. Oh, actually, before we get to that, let me get into the rundown of what we're going to be talking about today, man. In the free hour, we will be having a warm-up, which of course is where we, catch up everything what the cast has been on. Start off with just be me and Bang. Mikey is out this week. Courtney will be back on Friday, but she is out today. Dante should be joining us in about 20-25 minutes. So we'll have our warm-up. We're going to recap the top storylines from the football weekend. We're going to have our mid-season top 10 power rankings, and then we're also going to talk a little bit of the World Series, man. Game 3 kicking off in about an hour and a half on Fox, man. You're going to get into that. And then in the Patreon hour, we will be having a full breakdown of the I said Bears Raiders here. That is my fault. I definitely meant Bears Chargers. Players fuck up. Bears Chargers recap. We're gonna have a little Chase Young to the Bears trade rumors we're gonna discuss. Juan Soto might be heading his way to the north side in baseball. We're gonna talk about that, and then we'll be discussing the first week in the NBA, man. A lot of things to go on about that, but per usual, we're gonna always start off with my sound off. Now, this one might be a little longer sound off than usual, because I'm pretty pissed off about what I saw. Not even really what I saw last night on the field. What I saw on the field last night was predictable. Anybody with a set of eyes can see what the fuck was going to happen to the Bears last night. I'm tired of the shit I've been seeing in the media, Chicago media, more specifically, and y'all know who y'all are. The national media with the whole Tyson Badgett thing, man. And it is I don't like to quote unquote, always bring race and stuff, but we gotta just keep it real of what this situation is, man. It's bullshit that you're seeing. What you're seeing right now is a blatant attempt to try to run Justin Fields out of Chicago. This is an unfair thing to both not Justin Fields, but also to Tyson Badgett. Tyson Badgett is an okay backup quarterback. What he did last night It's what backup quarterbacks usually do when opposing defenses have now 4 quarters of actual play to study up on. Is you pick up on their tendencies. You know when to stop them. He had only two interceptions last night, only 1 touchdown. Maybe he could have had more, but he also could have threw 5 picks. It was that type of night yesterday. So this is not before I get fully into it, this is not a Tyson Bagent hate fest. This is not anything to do with Tyson Bagent. I was in that interview press room last night when after the loss, he did a good thing and he owned it up. You know what I'm saying? And he will be starting again this Sunday in New Orleans against that even tougher Saints defense. So this is not about Tyson Bagent. This is about the blatant attempt to try to hit Montreal screw job on Justin Fields. I don't understand how you've got paid, well-respected journalists or announcers, guys like Chris Collinsworth, who I respect, by the way. Chris Collinsworth, all-time announcer in my book. I like what he does. But to go up there and say that Justin Fields can learn a thing or two from Tyson Bagent. Tell me, what the fuck is a CEO supposed to learn from the goddamn intern? Explain that shit to me. You know, you're going in with the blatant handing of Tyson Bagent like this guy is just some superstar. Is it a cool story? Yes, it's a cool story. The fact he even made it to this position in the NFL needs to be applauded. Congratulations to that. But to go up there and to continuously say these negative things about Justin Fields, and I don't fully blame these people. This is coming from up top. Let's just cut the bullshit. I can say what I want because there's not a company that I work for that they pay me and I can't say certain things. The shit is coming from up top. It's coming from the people in that building who are out here and they're saying basically we're done with Justin Fields. We want nothing else to do with him. He had his shot and he blew it. Well, in their minds, they blew it. And we're going to go on to the next best thing, which we don't even know is the next best thing. What is the next best thing for the Bears? They don't do anything but ruin shit. We can sit up here, hope they get a Caleb Williams, hope they get a Drake May, just for them to be the next goddamn victim because you don't know how to make an actual infrastructure to make things better for your young quarterback. Am I going to sit up here and ignore how Justin Fields has played, not just this season, but really his whole time in Chicago? No. If you follow me on Twitter, if you've listened to anything or watched anything that I've said on this show, is that Justin Fields, honestly, is just to blame with the way he's been playing because he's very inconsistent. But at the same time, the coaching needs to be better. The coaching, Matt Eberflus is 5-20. For those of you doing the records back at home, that is the worst record for a coach in the 105-year history of this shitty-ass organization in the first 25 games. And do I need to name the number of shitty coaches this team has had? That is really saying something. I can go really, really long-winded on this thing, but it's at the end of the day, it's like this. It's nasty work. It's nasty work from the media, and it's nasty work for your fans. I got something to say about Bears fans. There's a good 25 to 30% of them who are really good people, have good interactions with them. They listen to 79th and Hollis. They have good banter. I fuck with y'all. But the other 75% of you stupid motherfuckers, I can't fucking stand. And you can quote me on that one. You don't know the game of football. You don't know what the fuck you're watching. You're going out here and you're basically praising the dude for one start. Even when Justin Fields throws touchdowns, you go over here and say, well, that was a bad pass. Let me say the same thing about Tyson Bagent. I got called everything but a child of God in my Twitter mentions. I got called everything but a goddamn baboon last night by a lot of you racist ass fans. And I don't like to actually, split lines. We got to call like it is. A lot of y'all don't want a quarterback who's a little bit darker than you might be. You want this guy. And like I said, this is nothing against Tyson Bagent. It is the situation. And I'm honestly fed up for it. The Bears organization and the Bears fan base do not deserve to be bailed out by another draft pick. Y'all call me a bad fan all y'all want. I have no more emotional attachment to this team. You can't sit up here and call me a bad friend after all the bullshit I done watched Sunday after Sunday after Sunday with this fucking team. Talking about, well, you're a Justin Fields fan. Who are you to go out here and be rooting against others? I'm not rooting against others. I'm rooting against you niggas. I want you niggas to fail. I want you niggas to cry. I'm tired of this shit. Like, we got to call it what it is, man. You motherfuckers are losers, okay? That's exactly what the fuck y'all are, man. I'm getting tired of it. And I know my brother's going to get mad at me for saying this shit because I know a lot of y'all listen to our podcast. And I fuck with the actual people who actually listen to the podcast and want to hear what we got to say. But the rest of y'all can kiss my ass. So that's all I'm going to say for this particular sound off. And now I'm going to bring in my guy, J.R. Bain, man, as we will talk more about this game in the second hour of this show. How you doing, my brother? Yeah. I think your mic is unmuted, brother. You get that going on. There we.
Oh man, it's been a while, but yo, I was sitting here listening to that rant, and okay. Oh.
Hey man, I
Two
calmed it
things.
down actually. Go ahead.
I see you did. Two things could be right at the same time, and I think that the more we understand that, the more people will be in a better place. I don't think, and I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks now, that Justin time has come and is gone, and I would rather see him tomorrow get traded to Atlanta. Like literally, I would love for Justin to be an Atlanta Falcon at 5:00 Eastern time tomorrow. I think that this organization has done him a disservice. And more importantly, I think that this organization, the Bears, have been exposed. And not in a way that you would hope your team to be exposed, right? Justin is clearly a talented quarterback. Clearly. There's not one person, there's not one analyst in the world right now that don't think that Justin got talent, or they don't think he don't got talent, rather. But every last one of them has said the same thing. He's been had by coaching. He's been had.
Yeah.
Nagy and then Eberflus. You set him up to fail by hiring Eberflus in the first place. You set him up to fail. The man had no chance whatsoever with this organization. So the organization, knowing that they made a mistake, should want to move on. They should. But it's the way you're going about it, which is the dumbest shit that I've seen in the Bears history. And mind you, I am 41 years old. Right? That's a lot of years. Damn, shouts out to Kevin Hart. Damn. But I've seen the Mike Tomczak, Jim Harbaugh quarterback controversy. That was the first quarterback controversy I can ever remember. Mike Tomczak, Jim Harbaugh. I remember Jim McMahon getting traded to San Diego. I remember damn near 90% of the quarterbacks we've ever had. I was here when Eric Kramer had his great year, probably the best year in like full year across the board in Chicago Bears quarterback history, or at least in our generation. I've seen it all. Shane Matthews coming over and maybe he got something. Rex Grossman, Jay Cutler. I remember Peter Tom Willis and Will Fuhrer, ladies and gentlemen. I remember them all. Craig Krenzel, I remember them all. But I've never seen this organization butcher a quarterback like they're butchering Justin Fields. So for this, I was watching the TV last night, and the first thing I said when I heard Chris Collinsworth say anything about Tyson Badgett, I said, the fix is in. And it's going to come at the worst possible time. This boy is going to look like shit. And in the midst of him looking like shit, Chris Collinsworth is going to be on TV all night singing his praise. And that's the red herring in all of this. And that's why people like Dan Burstein and Lawrence Holmes and others are upset. Why? Because Tyson Badgett looked like shit. And you wouldn't have thought he looked like shit if you heard Chris Collinsworth in his announcing. It was literally like, your kid bad as hell, but you love him and you gonna love him. That's exactly how Chris Collinsworth was last night about Tyson Badgett. But they don't have to do this. And this is what's so ass backwards. The Carolina Panthers might have won yesterday, but they still, because of that pick, are in line with a top 2 pick. We're not even talking about theirs, who right now I think is 5th, and the Carolina Panthers pick is 2nd. So you're still in line to go get Drake May. You're still possibly in line to get Caleb Williams. But here's when you look at the landscape in the NFL, you see a lot of shit going on with possible quarterbacks being down in the draft coming up. Kirk Cousins out for the year. Green Bay, quarterback suck like we told y'all he did. You got the Arizona Cardinals, which, hey, Kyler Murray is close to coming back, but who's to say he's going to be the same? So you got a couple of more games to see if Buddy ass got something. All them are possibly in line with a top 5 pick. The Bears are the only one of them who is shitting on their quarterback and in line for a top 5 pick. If the Bears lose all these fucking games or the majority of their games, they don't have to do none of this shit. Justin gone. It really makes no sense to try to create a narrative about somebody who, in the grand scheme of things, can be good. They suck still, and they still got a pick that's going to be Caleb Williams or Drake May. You're cutting your nose to spite your face, and that's why this is so dumb to me. If that's who you want, go get him. Go trade Justin to Atlanta, call it a motherfucking night, start Badgett for the rest of the year, be Huff, hurt his status as a possible long-term backup in the process by doing that shit, and go get Caleb Williams or Drake May. And who you gonna get is the quarterback. I mean, is the coach the quarterback? Because last I checked, hey, you think Jim Harbaugh gonna come in if the San Diego Chargers job is open? Hell of fuck no. The same dude who coached at the University of San Diego, who coached at Stanford, loves the West Coast, coached at San Francisco, go come to this cold, boring-ass city when it comes to football right now, when he got an already ready-made quarterback in Justin Herbert? No. That motherfucker gonna go to the San Diego Chargers if Brandon Staley gets fired. So who you gonna get the coach? This quarterback. You gonna hope Lincoln Riley come out if you get Caleb? You gonna hope that?
Yeah, I mean, it's just so much more we can say about this.
Wait a minute, one more thing.
Go ahead.
There's one more thing. Y'all don't think these NFL players looking at this shit?
No, they definitely 100% see it.
Do y'all like Chicago Bears organization, Kevin Warren? You don't think these NFL players looking at this shit? They know y'all fucked up, Justin. They know y'all fucked up the team. Did you hear what Khalil Mack said? What'd he say?
Khalil Mack said, we know Badgett does some good things, and but you can tell that we was on him. I'm just glad that number 1 wasn't out there.
Right.
The players know.
So they know. The players know. The players know y'all doing that man dirty. So all that money, all that cap room y'all got, y'all think a top flight free agent gonna come up in this motherfucker with Drake May or Caleb Williams as your quarterback, with some random ass offensive coordinator, former coordinator as your quarterback? You mean your head coach now? You think that's gonna happen? The way y'all doing Justin Fields dirty? If you don't want the man, just trade him.
Let the man go.
Let him go. But you ain't got to create no narrative to make this man look like shit.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I said it's coming from upstairs, bro. Like the national media ain't just gonna just say shit to be saying shit. Like this just come from upstairs. But I will go more in depth in the second hour. Patreon, I will go more in depth. One bang to get his shit off because he won't be in the second hour. But Dante, man, how's it going, bro?
I'm solid, bro. Back to reality. Homecoming was this weekend. Got back to work. Boss put me on a project I did not know I was on, but
Don't you love special projects?
Gotta love it. But I just, glad to be here and, get my shit off with my fellow frustrated. I ain't even gonna say fellow frustrated fans because I told y'all fuck them weeks ago. But as my fellow
frustrated.
Chicagoans, G.
I'm not even frustrated because now it comes with the territory. I told Scott, I told my man Sean, I told everybody when they hire Eberflus, this man might not even last 3 years. Gee, I said it the day he was hired. He might not even last 3.
He definitely said that.
And I say this, bro. Like, I feel you. It's not frustration because at the end of the day, like, this shit nasty, bro. Like, everything we saw yesterday, like, we already knew, and like as black folks, we was already hesitant. Like, are they gonna really get a key to the franchise to this young man? Are they really gonna do everything in their power to make sure he can be the best NFL player he could be? And we saw from day one, it was like, no. We saw it with Nagy with his first game in Cleveland. We saw it bro. We saw when the man just had 2 games where he threw for 8 touchdowns. You completely scrapped that offense that you used those 2 games and went back to having them sit in the pocket against a team that only blitzes. So you saw the signs, bro. But the shit is next level. And I think for me, it feels like when they started leaking D Rose's availability. It feels like that type of vibe where they're trying to bury this young man before he goes out the door, which is absolutely pointless to your point and counterproductive.
You need value for him. But you know what? I got a theory, and it's messed up what I'm about to say because of a text that I got. Okay. I won't reveal the shit at all, but we kind of know what it was about when it comes to the quarterbacks. But I won't say shit. But what I will say is this. All this shit got me feeling like, you know what? Maybe Matt Nagy was kind of had in this. And what I mean by this, here's what I mean by that. And it's based off of a text I got earlier today. Matt Nagy currently coaches a quarterback who's best when he leaves the pocket. Patrick Mahomes is best when he leave the pocket. But a Matt Nagy offense with the Bears was supposed to support a pocket passer QB. It was supposed to support that. They hire Eberflus. They bring in Getsy. And the excitement came because of Aaron Rodgers, right? Because he coached Aaron Rodgers. But as I said when they hired him, it's kind of easy to coach Aaron Rodgers when it's Aaron Rodgers. I mean, I can do that and have a great time. Here's the thing, though, Scott. Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback who is a great pocket passer, but excels when he leaves the pocket. Guess what Justin Fields is, ladies and gentlemen? He's all of that. As you hear my kids in the background, he's all of that and then some. But the 1 year he's successful, he's successful doing what? Running the fuck out of that goddamn football. Yep. But they keep trying to make him a pocket passer. Bears don't want nobody that's going to run around and do. No, man. The Bears want a statue, and they ain't going to get it in this day and age of quarterbacking unless you go draft a Drake May, who is probably in the most precarious position because he's never going to be the number 1 pick. He's not. So you got to hope that you fit in the middle to try to get this nigga. Because I'm going to tell you right now, as much as I like Caleb Williams, he's definitely not going to work here if Justin didn't work here. He's not going to work. He's not going to work because now you have a track record of him not working with Justin. And low-key, he's not going to work because of Mitch. Because Mitch was the same type of dude. And Mitch said the same thing that Justin said. But yet, Matt Nagy coaches a quarterback who's what these other 2 dudes can do, not at the level of Patrick Mahomes. But that's what they're known for. The Bears don't want that. So we're going to be stuck in this shit unless you find the perfect coach and the perfect quarterback. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, in the world we live in, in the NFL, even in college, you are not going to get that no more. Name me the top 5 quarterbacks and name me the statues out of those top 5 quarterbacks.
Joe Burrow probably the only one.
And that nigga can run his ass off,
he
as
can
you
move.
saw
He
the other
can.
day.
He can.
He
Yeah,
can
he can
move.
move. Yeah. Yeah.
So we cutting our
And
noses to spite our face.
And yeah, that's what I was saying. We're gonna move on because I want to keep majority of this behind the paywall.
Yeah, my
But
bad.
that's all good. I want you to get your shit off because you ain't gonna be in the second hour. But
It's been a while. So
what I wanted to say is this too, like that's the problem, that they're still trying to run old school shit with that bullshit mom and pop attitude. But me, Dante, the homie Mike from Pillars Club, we be joining us in a minute. We're gonna talk about that in the second hour, man. So let's we only got Bane for about 25 minutes before you gotta do grown folk stuff. But let's talk about what happened with actual football in this week of the NFL Week 8. A lot of nasty games on the slate. We did the Friday show.
yeah.
It was me, Dante, and my brother Flo. As we were looking at the top 5 must-watch games, and really only one of them shits was must-watch. Let's start with the number one storyline I have, man. Brock Purdy, or as I like to call it, Purd Sanity. Looks like that shit is over. Another rough game for him last night against the Cincinnati Bengals last night. He went for 22-31, threw for 365 yards, 1 touchdown, but had 2 interceptions, and he had 6 turnovers in the last 2 weeks, man. What do you guys feel about Brock Purdy? Do you think this is just like a little bit of a rough patch he's going through, and we slowly starting to see just who this dude really is?
Yeah, bro. Right. I think, yeah. Like as much as people want to make him a guy and make him, you know, the next big guy to get a contract. At the end of the day, a lot of these guys we saw getting picked in these later rounds, they coming back to reality. Like at the end of the day, he was Mr. Irrelevant for a reason. No disrespect to Brock, he's had a good run, but everything has to be perfect in order for him to do his thing. When you look at the big games he has. Look at the play calling. Look at the game plan that Kyle Shanahan puts together for him, and the games that CMC has, that Debo has. So it's not really a guy like we said. You're winning, technically necessarily you're winning in spite of him. You're not winning because of him. And quarterbacks like that, they always hit a ceiling. There's always going to be a point where it's like, nah, this guy really ain't who y'all trying to say he is. And like I know it, like I said, one thing we really starting to see, and you seen it like we saw yesterday with Bajan and Justin, but the narratives are starting to run sports more than what's actually happening on the field and what's actually going on. And so everybody's need for Purdy to be, that guy, and they're doing it so they can hype up Kyle Shanahan. Let's be clear, because they'll say, you see what he did with this guy and blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, like the talent is what matters. And so I think it's starting to come to a close. You got more and more tape on him. And if you can, like I said, put pressure on him, he's made some bad throws. Like we said, that one pick last week was fucking disgusting, but he's really starting to come back down to earth. So unless everything around him is perfect and his skilled position players are really getting off, you're not going to see, the 30. I think they scored 30 in 5 straight, or at least, I think, yeah, definitely. The first 5 games they scored 30.
Yeah, they didn't score 30. Yeah, they had 17, which was like part of the problem. To me, it's like this with Purdy. I'm not really ready to call him like ass. I still think he's a good quarterback, which is actually progress, because I thought last year he really wasn't good at all. So that's progress. I can even sit up here basically a year later and say he's a good quarterback. He's just not that guy. He's just not a fucking game changer. He's not a guy that you're gonna win a championship or even on a lesser term win a playoff game because of him. He's not that kind of guy. He's a guy I won't call him a game manager. He's a little better than a game manager, but he's nothing special. In the words of Cat Williams, like I even said last week, we were talking Luka and Trey. This is even a little worse than that. There's a difference between a Chrysler 300 and a Phantom. And last night we saw a difference between a Chrysler 300 and a Phantom. Brock Purdy being that Chrysler 300, Joe Burrow being that Phantom. And this is the biggest issue, and why I have the biggest issue with the 49ers organization, John Lynch, Kyle Shanahan, and they've been getting away with murder. They get away with murder because, yes, they have won some playoff games. Yes, they went to the Super Bowl like 3-4 years ago. But why was the reason they didn't win the Super Bowl? Because Jimmy Garoppolo couldn't hit an open pass. Why is the reason they didn't make it to the Super Bowl after that? Because they don't have a fucking game-changing quarterback when they've had ample opportunities to give. They could have drafted a Justin Fields. And I have no doubt in my mind that Justin Fields is a superstar with Kyle Shanahan. In fact, we all know that Kyle Shanahan actually wanted Justin Fields, but instead they wouldn't go Trey Lance. Where's Trey Lance at? He's playing third string in Dallas. So there's different things here where it's not really a Brock Purdy thing. Brock Purdy is just being who Brock Purdy is. Like you said, Dante, Mr. Irrelevant, final pick in the draft. This is who this guy is. This is not as the same thing as it is with Tyson Bagent. Obviously, Brock Purdy is way better than Tyson Bagent, but it's kind of the same situation as you're trying to get more from a guy when that's not really who he is. And that's to me what this situation is more than him falling off. He's just coming back to what he really is. And when you have this thing about when quarterbacks we see across the NFL, it takes a long time to evaluate. You don't really know how good your quarterback is till he's consistent for at least 3 seasons. We know who Joe Burrow is. We know who Patrick Mahomes is. We know who Justin Herbert is. We know who Lamar Jackson is. Brock Purdy hasn't even had a full season under his belt yet. He came at the end of last year when Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt. So I don't blame Purdy. I mean, Purdy has to play well. He's not, exempt of blame. This is who the fuck the guy is, man. Like, this is not act shocked with it. He's just another guy. That's pretty much how I look at Brock Purdy.
Yeah, you right. You was right, Scott. I said that we had to start respecting Buddy, and you stood on your 10 toes and like, nah. And I was wrong, and you was right. Brock Purdy is what y'all want Tyson Bagent to be.
Yeah.
Career backup, ladies and gentlemen. Somebody who could give you some spot starts, somebody that can start as a bridge QB. That's who Brock Purdy is, ladies and gentlemen. But that's what y'all want Tyson Bagent to be, right? Yeah. Look, the 49ers is situation right now is too smart for your own damn good. You were smart enough to draft a quarterback and develop him a bit. Didn't think he would get hot the way that he got with the 49ers. But at the end of the day, he's not as talented as you need with a team like that has a Super Bowl ready defense, a Super Bowl ready offensive line. And with Debo out, with CMC, playing, but he's hurt, with your left tackle out, you need a quarterback to take over. Goes back to Dak Prescott a couple of weeks ago when I said, is he a dog? Do we have dog in him? Brock Purdy has dog in him, but he has more dog than talent. And when you missing players, you need that talent to come out. And he, over 300 yards, I think, in that game. He had a touchdown, but he had 2 interceptions. Yeah. So he's that dog that can't make mistakes. And if you make a mistake, it's a problem. That's simply what it is with him.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that one, man. I think we just hit the nail on the head. It's really just stop putting, and you're doing a disservice to guys like a Brock Purdy. You're doing disservice to guys like a Tyson Bagent by the hype machine that you're putting on it. You're so quick to crown this inspirational story of a white quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So you're so quick to do that. You know what I'm saying? So, and it does a disservice to the player. It does a disservice to the team. It does a disservice to the fan base because most of them, they stupid. They don't know what the fuck they're looking at. So they're going to hear the bullshit y'all saying. And so when they fail, now we got to shit on them. Now I got to sit up here and shit on a Brock Purdy when Brock Purdy is just being who the fuck he is. Now I got to sit up here and shit on a Tyson Bagent for just being a Tyson Bagent. It's unfair. So I'm blaming the fucking media. It's your fucking fault for hyping these dudes up on the podium. You know what I'm saying? And you go up there, we have, is Brock Purdy elite? No, nigga, it's not elite. It's kind of like with Dante, what you said a couple weeks ago. It's like the NBA superstar shit. Everybody in the NBA superstar. I have a parameter like this. If my grandma don't know who the fuck you are, you're not an NBA superstar. My grandma don't watch no basketball. She know who LeBron James is. She know who Steph Curry is. My grandma know even less about football. She know who Tom Brady is. She know who Patrick Mahomes is. You know what I'm saying? If I ask about Brock Purdy, she gonna be like, who? So now y'all keep putting these people on a pedestal before they do enough to get to that spot. And now we got to sit up here and blame the kid for being him. It's unfair, man. So that's pretty much what I got to say about Purdy, man. Let's move on to our next topic on our top storylines from the football weekend, man. Mr. Kirk Cousins, man. Kirk Cousins, man. I'll say this about Kirk, man. Kirk to me is a better version of Dak Prescott, as in both these guys are not bad quarterbacks. They're just not cutting the mustard. You know what I'm saying? They have good good regular season stats. They can get you 10 or 11 wins every year, division title here and there. But when the playoffs come, they're not going to make the play that's going to get you to win. They're like the tier above, like a Brock Purdy. You know what I'm saying? They're that good. But Kirk has had a really, really good year this year. Took light work of the Green Bay Packers last night and actually slowly building the Vikings back up after their terrible start. They've won 2 in a row. Big win against the Niners and then dusting the weak-ass Green Bay Packers last night. He gets hurt. When I first originally saw the injury, I didn't think it would be something too bad, but shout out Pierce. Pierce was like, I think that's an Achilles. 30 minutes later, Kevin O'Connell says, basically, we think it's an Achilles, but we're going to get it confirmed. Then it came confirmed this morning from Ian Rappaport and Adam Schefter that Kirk Cousins has a torn Achilles and he will be out for the rest of the season, man. Dante, what do you think about this? This is a blow for the Vikings, not just now, but like he's going to be out for at least a year.
Yeah, I mean, it's not only a blow for the Vikings in several ways. I bet you Kyle Shanahan was fighting the air when he heard this shit because this is, Kirk Cousins has been his pet project for a while, and Kirk Cousins was about to be a free agent. So we talk about the uncertainty, and I know Brock Purdy is there, but he could have easily slid Purdy back to number 2 and got his guy Kurt and finally got off and took off. So I'm sure for Kyle Shanahan that was sick, but for the Vikings, it's a gift and a curse because I mean, yeah, you probably could have competed, been in contention for the division, but at the same time, they're not winning the Super Bowl, and they probably not going to re-sign Kirk. And so now you get to reset your clock, and now they probably going to trade off a bunch of assets and be as weak as possible to try to get their new quarterback. Unfortunately for Kurt, it really does suck because he's older. Like Kurt he's really the first true test of the franchise tag. And we saw bro take that tag so many times and he got that guaranteed bread. But now you get to a situation like this when you're in line for one last big payday and you have an injury like this, how is that going to affect him? So I know for Kurt, that's really unfortunate, G. Because like you said, like I told you, I think maybe it was the quarterback show on Netflix, but I don't trash Kirk Cousins as much as I used to. Because at the end of the day, he was a very serviceable quarterback. He was a very solid dude, believe what you want to believe with all the fucking vaccine shit. But other than that, on the football field, I have no issues with Kirk Cousins. So, it's unfortunate like that he ended up going like that at this age for him to have that type of injury.
The quarterback show made you actually think, this dude's a decent guy,
Yeah, like it was cool. I ain't got nothing negative to say about Kirk.
I guess I was the only person that didn't think that bad of Kirk Cousins. Only because he's serviceable at the end of the day. I think the Minnesota thing came in, not even the contract, just coming to Minnesota after Case Keenum did what he did, kind of like put some unfair pressure on him. But hey, man, I like serviceable quarterbacks at the end of the day, man. Like, you don't have to be a star and command all of the money. As long as you got like Trent Dilfer. For example, I always liked Trent Dilfer, as he got older because he became a serviceable quarterback that tried not to make too many mistakes. And when Kirk Cousins tried to do too much, that's when he make his mistakes. But when you just ask him to just feel of the game, boom, Kirk Cousins is a dope quarterback. But I think of Dan Marino when Dan Marino tore his Achilles. And that's what I think about Kirk Cousins. Basically, you might as well start playing Genuine, Puff, and Twister. Is this the end? Because it don't look too good for a quarterback like Kirk Cousins to come back off of an Achilles. So, but for Minnesota, man, you gotta tear it down now. Like Bo Nix, welcome to Minnesota. Michael Penix Jr., welcome to Minnesota. Because Minnesota's not gonna suck enough to get past the Bears or Arizona or others to get one of those top 2 picks. And unless you're about to trade Justin Jefferson, you're definitely not getting one of those top 2 picks. So you're looking at one of the after Drake May and Caleb Williams, who is that quarterback in the draft that you can pick up and, get you a bridge and try to work them in? Is that Bo Nix? Is it Penix Jr.? Is it JJ McCarthy? Like, who is it? And I already told y'all, you don't tank for them. You don't tank for them.
Yeah, you 100% don't tank for them.
But then when you look at it, like Jaron Hall from BYU is their quarterback now because Nick Mullins is on injured reserve. So it's like, damn.
It's cooked. It's cooked. We're gonna bring in my guy real quick, is our next guest, man. We got my guy Mike, man. Now anybody in Chicago who I think everybody in Chicago got a Pillars hoodie. I think I've never seen a nigga on the block who don't have a Pillars hoodie or T-Lil Bank. He's saying he ain't got no bank.
Don't worry, man. We gonna get you in some, man. Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I got you.
I'm about to say, G Scott got to get the whole staff right. G, we all need.
Don't worry. After this, I'm gonna get y'all all right. Don't even worry about it, man. Don't even worry. We got y'all a care package coming your way. It's getting cold outside. We got your care package coming your way.
Well, this is my my best friend, man. Michael Willis. He is the founder of Pillars Fashion Club, man. You guys got how many stores down in Chicago? About 4 or 5?
Yeah, four stores, warehouse. Yep.
Four stores, man. You got one in the West Loop. We got 87th and what's the? I don't fuck up the address.
Jeffrey, 87th Jeffrey. Then we got one in Chicago Ridge Mall and Orland Park Mall. Yeah.
Definitely, man. Get in tune with them, man. Pillars, all caps, with everything. But this is my guy. We've been debating sports since 20 years?
Man, yeah, 20 years, man. 20 years.
20 years since the Curie hallway days, man. So we bringing them in the middle of our conversation. We've got about 18 minutes left on the actual first hour. Then we're gonna move the rest of the show to Patreon. But we're gonna continue to talk about the top storylines from the NFL for the football weekend. Let's talk about what's going on in Tennessee right now, man. And the Will Levis era. I feel like the Will Levis era has begun. He played yesterday. Replacing my man Malik Willis. He had 19, he went 19-29, 239 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and looked like DeAndre Hopkins was reinvented last night. Like I ain't seen him play that well to me. So, I got a nigga that can throw. I'm gonna give it to Mike first, man. What did you think about what you saw from Will Levis? Do you think that the Titans have a guy, or should we pump the brakes on it?
Pump the brakes. He definitely did a good job, so you want to congratulate him on that. But also, these teams don't prepare for these certain quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? So you have no scouting on him. And that's with most quarterbacks. If you coming in fresh and things like that, a rookie, a backup, any sort of things like that. But he would definitely was passing the ball very well. He looked good out there. Even when he got drafted, I'm straight on Will Levis. I don't. It's something about now with these quarterbacks, they want them to be, if you're a big, tall, white boy that could throw it hard, they think you're great. Because they see Josh Allen, they like, real shit, they think you're great, just like Drake May. I'm straight on that man. I'm not, I'm not taking him. You know what I'm saying? But I cannot what Will Levis did. I'm not wishing nobody downfall. I hope he does do well. But I can't just go off of one game. You know what I'm saying? Let's see how it progresses, things like that. Me personally, I can't go off one game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. That's kind of like the theme of today's episode too, man. Is pump the brakes.
Yeah, right.
You hit the nail on the head, man. If you white, it's all right. If you white, you tall, you got a little arm on you. You know what I'm saying? The NFL,
boy,
like, hey, don't be a nigga and run. They ain't fucking with you. So I agree with that. I did see some things from Will Levis that I liked. Considering that I expected nothing from him when he was drafted. I mean, I remember being at the draft and that nigga was there all day. Like he was an all day way to get drafted. So the fact that he showed something was good. And let's be very clear, it's not hard to be better than fucking Ryan Tannehill. You know, so I think that this is something that at least if you're a Titan fan, you have something to watch. Or Malik, you know, I wasn't trying to go in on black man, especially with this barber's chair fake
allegations.
News. Allegations. I hate black quarterbacks.
Oh,
It's facts,
I forgot
though,
about that.
yeah, you right.
But
I recall black quarterbacks.
Yeah, you know, and we have these debates about Lamar all the time. I'm not a black quarterback hater. I'm just, you know, not the biggest.
Lamar's great. Lamar's great, but that's a different story. Go ahead.
I didn't say Lamar wasn't great. He's great.
Lamar's better than Josh Allen, but go ahead. Go ahead, though. Go ahead. We're not talking about that right now. Go ahead. We're not gonna get to it.
That's another Christmas argument. But yeah, so there were some things I saw that I liked from him. Of course, defenses are gonna adjust. That's what defenses do. When you got actual film on a quarterback, you can adjust and try to play better. But I like what I saw from Bang. What'd you think about Will Levis?
I agree with Mike. Look, when you got somebody that you can't prepare for, nights like this happen. And when you look at some of the plays, man, he got bailed out a lot yesterday. Like he got bailed out by D-Hop a couple of times. So I mean, I don't want to shit on Buddy Day because throwing 4 touchdowns in your first game, you know what I'm saying? That's Al Bundy shit right there. You can retire, put your hands in your pants and be like, yo, back in my day, I scored 4 touchdowns and stuff like that. But when you got tape, shit different.
We gonna see what it is when you got the tape. The tape don't lie.
It is. We gonna and do I think Will Levis could be something in the NFL? Yeah, I think he could be a middle of the road, back half QB. You know what I'm saying, and be okay. All right. I think Will Levis is gonna have a long career in NFL as a starter, backup, like Jeff George, you know what I'm saying? Except Jeff George is probably more talented than Will Levis because Jeff George, if he didn't have any issues, would probably be a Hall of Famer right now. So it's saying a lot. But nah, man, like I'm just not gonna get too caught up in Will Levis having a day like this. It's got to happen two more times. Give me 3 days like this. You give me 3 straight days, then I'm gonna give you a little bit of respect. I gave Brock Purdy ass respect, so he got to give me 2 more games. He give me 3. That's 21 days. That's a habit. So it takes 21 days to make a habit. So 21 days. We get 3 weeks of Will Levis doing what he just did right there. Then I'll jump out the body, but not now.
Dante, what you think, bro?
Yeah, no, I agree, bro, 100%. Like, I mean, we all knew the hype around him in the draft, and even though he failed, we knew the talent that he had. So, I mean, first day, no tape, all fresh off the bench. I'm not gonna say anybody could do it, but like we see these performances a lot where somebody gets in there, there's no film on them, and they light shit up, and then you give them a couple weeks, and then reality sets in. So, I mean, I think for Tennessee, you're excited because you already rolled the dice on Malik and missed on that, so now you can reset that clock with not Brock, with Will Levis, but I think
another white boy,
yeah, but like you said, G, with the arm talent he has. He does have elite arm talent, so they're gonna try to get the most out of that. So I'm interested to see where it goes, but I'm not ready to say, oh yeah, he's the guy. It's just first day success. You see that a lot with quarterbacks when there's nothing on you.
Yeah, man, I agree with all that, man. Let's move on to our next storyline. Tyreek Hill, man, the cheetah. This dude is having a crazy season. The Miami Dolphins won again yesterday, 31-17 over the New England Patriots. I don't know how to pronounce. How do you pronounce Tua's last name? So I can not
Tagovailoa.
Tua Tagovailoa. Okay. Yeah, I can pronounce Giannis' last name, but this nigga name I be fucking up all the time.
Tagovailoa.
Do it.
Tua Tagovailoa. There we go. This nigga was 30-45 on the field, had 324 yards passing, 3 interceptions, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Yeah, I said from the field. Passing. Tell you I've been watching basketball this weekend. But Tyreek Hill had 8 receptions, 112 yards, and he had a touchdown, man. His longest 42-yard pass from Tua. He is the first player in NFL history to have 1,000 receiving yards in the first 8 games of the season. My question to y'all is, is he having the greatest season by wide receiver ever? Because he's got 8 games. He's looking 2K in the eye.
So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go first because I got to dip in a minute.
Okay.
I gotta wait till the season is over with. But this on pace shit is shit I ain't never seen before. Ever. To have this many passing yards, receiving yards, and the season ain't even halfway done yet. It's some shit I ain't never seen before, and it's weird. This is weird. Like, this is supposed to be a passing league, but this year is supposed to be all about defense. But this man has done this, and we was just talking shit about Tua as if he was a good quarterback or not. Like, fam, for real? All you got to do is send this dude on a go route and just throw the ball. Playing football with Tyreek Hill is like playing football in your front lawn with your friends, and you just so happen to have the bad dude named Man, who's the fastest dude on the block. And you just the stationary quarterback, and you like hike, and he just run, and you just go from Lockwood to from Hirsch to goddamn Lemoyne, just throwing this nigga the ball up, and he just run. Like, his family is where's Tyreek Hill from?
He's
Miami.
From Miami.
He's from Florida, right?
Yeah, he's from Florida.
Yeah.
He's from Florida.
Them niggas out there don't play fair. I know a couple of niggas from Florida who play football, and all them niggas fast. And I don't even know why. I don't know if it's the dreads. I don't know if it's because it's just that hot. But all them niggas, I'm jealous of all of them niggas. All of them niggas just know how to run. And that's what Tyreek Hill do. Just throw that shit on the slant and watch him go. So I'm not gonna call it the greatest yet. I gotta see this season end. But if you tell me if this the best half season you ever seen, shit, hell yeah. Because as soon as he touched the ball, he's the Barry Sanders of wide receivers. Yeah. If Barry Sanders was a wide receiver doing Barry Sanders shit, he's Tyreek Hill, and the shit's scary.
Oh, man, we know you got to get up out of here, man. So let the people know they can follow you. You'll be on us. What summer sessions was tomorrow? You doing summer sessions?
Yeah. I'll be back for summer sessions, but y'all can follow me at everything, what you see on there, JR Bang, and fuck the Bears as an organization right now until they do right by Justin. If they want to trade him tomorrow. But don't do this dumb shit that y'all doing in the media right now. That shit's not fair. Not only to Justin, but them other players in the locker room who clearly support Justin. And no shade to Tyson Bagent, because you have a great story. You seem like you got the coolest dad in the world and shit, and your whole family be there to support you. No shade to Tyson Bagent. This is clearly what the Bears organization is doing to a player that they ain't even got to do this shit for, because if y'all continue losing, this nigga ain't going to be there in the first place. You ain't got to dog him on the way out, because when his ass go to Atlanta and cook y'all ass, we going to be at the 50-yard line with the other old heads like, see, we should have kept this nigga.
Facts.
Also, Ben, we got some dude news on Friday, right? We gonna tell the people
some dude news on Friday.
Some dude news on Friday on the Friday show. So we'll holler at you, bro.
Peace.
So we're gonna get back to what we were saying about Tyreek Hill. I'm gonna give it to Mike, man. What you thinking on the cheetah, man? What you think about? Is this one of the greatest seasons you've seen?
I like JR said, I kind of hold off on that because we got to see what happens towards the end. But man, that man is explosive. Like, it doesn't matter if you throw him you could throw it behind him a -3-yard screen and he's housing it. You know, like, what's impressive is it's coming. The defenses know it's coming. They're game planning and they can't stop it. That's what's scary. Okay, like, they see this every week. Okay, you can't, like, they're game planning and they still can't stop it. It's impressive. But it also helps that you also have Jalen Waddle on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Like, it also helps that you have a mastermind coach who's an offensive mastermind. So that helps as well, but can't take away from what he's doing. he got great hand. And from where he started off from, I remember Jalen Ramsey. It's funny because they're on the same team. Jalen Ramsey, like I remember Jalen Ramsey made that comment like, he just made the Pro Bowl for special teams. So special teams. And now years later, they're on the same team. Now this man fucking making Pro Bowls and all pros for being the best receiver in the NFL. And this going from the numbers could be higher. It's always going to go higher because now we're in the passing era. They're going to throw it, 45, 50 times a game. So the numbers are going to exceed that. Like, because you can say, like, okay, with Randy Moss was fucking getting 15 targets a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, could he have Bertrand Ray or Calvin Johnson? Like, it's always going to be, the numbers are going to be different. You know what I'm saying? Even with quarterbacks, like, that's why I necessarily don't go off passing yards because you threw it fucking 65 times a game. You know what I'm saying? Like, or 50 times a game. So your numbers are going to be high. But what he's doing is very impressive. So for the first 8 games of what's going on, definitely the best shit I ever seen.
Dante, what you think, bro?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's not, and just based off everything you just said, bro, we in an era now where we throw the ball more than ever. That it's harder to defend receivers than it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I don't want to take away from Tariq's greatness because he is amazing. The things he's able to do in space, he's one of the reasons these offenses try to spread it out, is because you got a guy like that with that type of track star speed. Get him the ball, let him and watch him work. So, I mean, it's great on that level, but as far as the greatest we've ever seen, I'm gonna say no. Because when you look at the receivers we've seen, and like similar to how we talked about the quarterback position, like growing up, we've seen a lot of great receivers to the point where there's some dudes that we just forgot about, or dudes we don't mention who were really fucking nice. And like you said, Mike, imagine if like even a guy like Steve Smith, you put him in this game, and you gave him 15, 16 targets a game, where it's like, go get money. Imagine what he'd do. So it's amazing, but it's just like with quarterback, how like, Dan Marino was the only one back in the day lighting shit up on that level, him and John Elway. And now you see everybody has 30,000 yards, 32,000 yards. And it's like, oh, okay, we got to really readjust the way we are evaluating people. So I wouldn't say greatest ever, but I mean, it's dope to watch. It's like, and now at the end of the season, then bro end up with 2,000, 2,300 yards, some shit like that. Then we're going to have to, have a different conversation. But I can't say
and you can't touch these guys, pause. You know what I'm saying? Like,
real shit.
You can't, like, I know this defense in the past would probably be like, no, man, we got to get physical with a bump them, this and that. You hold them, like, come on, everyone holds. Like, everyone holds. O-linemen, DBs, they're going to hold. That's just part of the game. But you do any type of bump after that 5 yards, which is technically a penalty, whatever, but anything like, you can't, it's hard to do. It's hard to adjust. It just really is. But he's something special because that speed is something special. But I'm not gonna hold you, man. Like, I think the man he scored a touchdown, took the phone, and did a backflip while taking the selfie. G, hold on, G. Hold on, G. I'm like, come on, G. Like, come on. That's wild. Like, that's my man is running past people and putting the peace sign like he's Sonic. Come on, man. We got and y'all prepared for this, bro. So it's like it's crazy. It's crazy though.
I'll say this: we're gonna have about 10, 15 minutes left on the first hour because we do have one segment I want to get on here before we go to the Patreon hour. But my thing is, I like you said, Dante, like we grew up in the era with a lot of great wide receivers, man. Like T.O.
Oh my God.
Yeah, like T.O. is, and I think because T.O. be on the videos, we kind of forget just how cold T.O. was. T.O. Motherfucking Randy Moss, nigga. I even guys we don't talk about enough. Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holtz, you know what I'm saying? Like Ocho Cinco,
Larry Fitzgerald, Megatron, Julio Jones,
nigga, like
was a dog.
Deshaun Jackson. Even guys low level. Remember TJ, who's your mama? Like I can be
who's your mama,
score, nigga. Like we grew up in like an era of wide receivers, guys who were getting 10 to 12 receptions game, like damn near 20 targets a game. So I'm not gonna put him in that kind of category. But if we just talk about just how the offense is now, where as great as wide receivers are, they probably don't get the same amount of targets that they used to get back in the day. It's incredible what he's doing. I 100% thought he was a system wide receiver and just a product of Patrick Mahomes. He shut me clean the fuck up since he's been to Miami. So I don't think it's going to be the greatest season we'll be seeing, but if he gets 2,000 yards receiving, he puts himself in a different category to say, yeah, I might not have the touchdown numbers or the numbers of like a T.O. or Moss or guys like that. But they didn't do this either. So I think it's something where he'll be able to have his own, especially in this era. You know, we can come over here and say it's like a soft era, whatever. But like you said, Mike, it's easier to defend. It's an offensive league. You can't touch wide receivers, you can't touch quarterbacks. So it's a little easier said than done, but it's still just an amazing accomplishment, man. Let's move to our final point before we move on to power rankings, and that'll be end of the first hour. This will be a very quick answer for both of y'all. Very quick. We won't be spending much time on this at all. Was Giants just the worst game in the history of the sport?
Yes. Yes.
You know what?
Those
The most disgusting shit before was it Patriots and Bills when the Patriots only threw it like 3 times? That was nasty.
It was like that fog bowl. What
I'm not
like
finna let you I'm not finna let you hand the ball off all day and you win. Like, come on, they passed it 3 times. I think that was more nasty, but yeah, that's up there though. That Jets and Giants stuff is up there.
Gee, you really got to go back to one of them 1906 games where there was no forward
Right,
passes type shit.
Right.
This type of terrible game like that. I'm like, oh hell no, ain't no way.
I mean, every Bears game is a bad game as well. So
how many times the Bears game seen a 13-10 score? But it was just Tommy DeVito had -1 yards passing. Like, it's just
get this nigga off the court.
The shit that
it's unacceptable.
Only on Barbershare. But yeah, that type of shit is unacceptable, dog. Like 8 yards from Tyrod Grant. Tyrod got hurt, so I shoot us a bell. But that game was disgusting. Even more disgusting was the way the motherfucking Jets won that game. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Giants. What the fuck?
The Jets are staying above float, and that defense and that coach, believe it or not, you gotta give him credit. You gotta give him credit.
Yeah, he's gonna lose his job eventually, but you're right. You gotta give him credit.
Yeah, you gotta give him his credit. Like he's staying above flow. He's keeping his head above water. Who would have thought Aaron Rodgers would have got injured that quick? So, hey, they got a winning record. They're 4-3. Are they 4-3?
They're 4-3. They're 4-3.
Right. Just imagine if they had Aaron Rodgers. That's 2 more wins, maybe, possibly. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never know. You know what I'm saying? So you got to lean on that defense. Make sure just Zach Wilson doesn't make a mistake, and just run the ball and just see what you can do. Yeah. Real shit. That sound like a Bears game plan, but hey,
it 100% does.
When we had Shane Matthews and shit, but go ahead.
All right, we don't need to go back to them. Last topic in the free hour before we move on to the Patreon, man. I had basically I was gonna do mid-season power rankings. So this is my fault, Dante. I didn't send you the list. I didn't send Mike either. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell y'all who I got on my top 10 power rankings. We react to it. That's what we're gonna do, and then we're gonna close up this first hour, man. So in my top 10 power rankings, I'm gonna go start from 10 to 1. At number 10, I have got Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills at 5-3. They were a team that I came into the season thinking they weren't going to be as good as last year because of the amount of people they've lost on that defense. And just I kind of feel like people were starting to pick up on a lot of the bad tendencies that Josh Allen has. And 8 games into it, I have not been wrong. They have been picking up on those bad tendencies. They're going to have a big game coming up next week against the Cincinnati Bengals. So that's going to be good. But I'm going to go to them at number 10. Number 9, a team that I feel like nobody's talking about, but they should, because they got the same fucking record as the fucking Detroit Lions. It is Geno Smith and the Seattle Seahawks. Geno's been doing good. He's proven that last year was not a fluke, and this is the quarterback that he is. Pete Carroll showing y'all, hey, it wasn't Russ. It wasn't me. It was Russ. Even though Russ has been playing a little bit better, he's not the Russ we used to know before. They have a good defense. DK Metcalf. They've been putting together good teams, so they're right in that NFC race right now that nobody's really talking about them. I'm put Seattle number 9. Number 8, I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson and Baltimore Ravens at 6-2, coming off another win last night over the Arizona Cardinals. They demolished the Detroit Lions in week 7. I think you're slowly starting to see what Lamar can play with when he actually has competent wide receiver play around him. I love Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham looks like he should be on Family Man Records, but despite all of that, they're still playing well. The defense is taking the full what's called the full character of Roquan Smith. They're playing well. They're right in that AFC conversation. I'm gonna put them at number 8. Number 7 is the number 1 draft pick from 2021. Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. They start off rough this year. They have won a couple in a row. They are now 6-2 after a big win in Pittsburgh last night. So I'm gonna go with the Jacksonville Jaguars at 6. At 7. At number 6, I'm going with a team who they're probably going to be 6-2 in about 3 hours, but I'm going to go with the Detroit Lions at 5-2 right now. I'm loving everything I'm seeing from Jared Goff. I've been one of Jared Goff's biggest detractors living here in Los Angeles. I've seen all of his Rams career, and Jared Goff, like I said, is not a bad quarterback. He's just not a good one either. But he is slowly, I don't want to say because we ought to see what happens when they make the playoffs. He's slowly changing his legacy. From the way he's come in and just completely changed the makeup of this Detroit Lions team. And of course, you got to give a lot to Dan Campbell, who is a great coach. You got to give a lot to that front office over there, making great draft picks, making good free agent signings. They're doing everything they need to do. And for the first time and in my lifetime, I can ever say the Detroit Lions are an actual threat. So I'm going to go to the Detroit Lions at number 6. In my top 5, even though they lost last night, even though they lost the last 2 weeks, I'm going with the San Francisco 49ers. We want the San Francisco 49ers. We talked about Brock Purdy early in the show. I say you can't get mad at Brock Purdy for being Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is not a great quarterback. He's not a bad quarterback. It's on y'all for putting him up there like he was Tom Brady and some shit. But I do think he'll get back to at least playing a little better than he's played. They're going to get Deebo Samuel back. I don't believe this defense is going to play as bad they played the last 2 weeks. They'll get together, and they've got a good mastermind calling the plays in Kyle Shanahan. I'm sticking with the San Francisco 49ers, number 5. At number 4, a team we kind of just talked about a little bit. I'm going with the Miami Dolphins. They are 6-2 right now. I still want to see them beat some teams that are actually worth a damn. They're kind of up on Bum Slayer Boulevard right now, but that offense is looking incredible. Black King, Mike McDaniel, is doing a great job out there. Man. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins at number 4. Now, in my top 3, now this number 3 team has a worse record than half the teams on this list. I'm going to Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals only 4-3, but they started off 0-2. They bounced back. And like I said on this show for the last couple of weeks, Joe Burrow isn't struggling. Joe Burrow is hurt. This is what it looks like when Joe Burrow is not hurt. He's going out there. He's making the plays he needs to play. He showed y'all true the difference between what's an elite quarterback and what's Brock Purdy. Jamar Chase has been doing his thing. T. Higgins hasn't even really been killing like that. He's going to get back. That defense been making plays. Joe Mixon's been good. And we already know they can get to the Super Bowl. They've won many playoff games. They've been in the AFC Championship game the last 2 years. I'm going Cincinnati Bengals number 3. Now, in my top 2, I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles at number 2. 7-1 record, best record in the league. They should have lost last night to the Washington Commanders. They have not played as great as they played last year, but it's the NFL. You're not going to be as sharp every week. And I was really, really impressed by Jalen Hurts in that second half. So I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles at number 2. And my number 1 team, of course, is the defending Super Bowl champion, Kansas City Chiefs. Have they been the Chiefs of old? No. But when you are a Super Bowl champion and you're out here and you don't really care about the regular season, you care about getting to the playoffs and going out there and trying to win games. And I feel when you have the best quarterback in football, which is Patrick Mahomes, you will be fine, man. So that's why I'm gonna go with my power rankings, man, of 1 through 10. What y'all think about what I got, man? Any teams that should be moved, any teams that shouldn't be there?
Oh, I mean, the Bengals pick is wild as hell, but I mean, I get the logic behind it, but I would have had them further down. Like you could put them in the top 10, but they probably would have been 10 on my list. But other than that, it's a pretty solid list, and I think as we
have the Bills over the Bengals.
No,
right now, yeah.
I don't. Okay. I would have the Ravens higher. I would have, and I love Joe Burrow and what the Bengals doing. I knew they was going to get back to it, but right now I just can't give it. I think the Ravens should be higher. I think you could actually flip flop Ravens and Bengals. I'm not a huge Buffalo Bills fan on basis of it's one dimensional. It's Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. If you stop that, what else? Because Gabe Davis is boo boo. Like Gabe Davis is boo boo. I mean, it's been the same thing for the last 4 or 5 years with the Buffalo Bills. Like we know their offense, so you're not surprising anyone. You know what I'm saying? So, and who they beat up on is not very impressive either. You know what I'm saying? So, I just love what the Ravens are doing. Like you said, shit, they should have a better record. Their receivers what was that 2 games ago, dropping every pass there was. You know what I'm saying? So I love what Lamar doing. He's still 2-dimensional. He can throw the ball. He can run the ball. He's still one of the most dynamic athletes in this game that you really got a game plan for. And what he's doing is very impressive. They can run the ball. They play defense. They're well coached. Well coached. Being coached is so underrated in sports. It's crazy.
Especially
You can have the most talent. You can have the most talented players, but if they're not coached correctly, it's no purpose. You know what I'm saying? And Harbaugh got them well coached. You know, and they built this, and it's a new offense. It's a whole new offense, and Lamar's looking better. So as time goes on, he's going to get better and better and better. So I will flip those 2.
Okay, man. I'm not mad at those takes. I understand the Bengals pick is a little wild, but I think that's just how much faith I have in Joe Burrow. I'm not mad at the Ravens. I actually struggle with putting the Bills on him. I was gonna leave them niggas off, but just because I fuck with Josh Allen, I kept them on there. But they pulling up on the smelly football, man. But that's gonna be it for the first hour. We finna head on over here right now to right here, patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network, man. Me, Dante, Mike, we're going to be talking about the World Series in the next hour. We're going to go full breakdown into the Bears Chargers fiasco, and then me and Dante are going to wrap it up with NBA talk and that. So if you want to get the second hour of the show, patreon.com/Barbers Chat Network. It's a $5 I'm not going to hold you tier. If you just want to watch I'm Not Gonna Hold You shit, subscribe to the $5 holler. If you want all the great things we have on the Barbershop Network Patreon, which includes everything that's on the I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, it includes 79th and Hollis, it includes summer sessions, it includes everything. Get the $10 Barbershop All Access feed, man. So we appreciate everybody on H&B Media TV. We appreciate everybody on the Barbershop YouTube. We appreciate everybody on Twitter watching us right now too for the first hour. And full show be on Patreon tonight, man. We about to do hour 2 now. We up out of here.
Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna triple double.